There's a new series out about Babe Paley, the embodiment of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant living in Manhattan in the 60s and 70s. Babe never complained or criticized anything or anybody. She was a supportive wife of a philandering husband. She kept note cards to make sure that dinner guests never had the same experience twice. She was known for her quiet elegance of word and motion, always keeping her hand gestures close to her body as a manifestation of her inward reserve. On closer analysis, one could compare her to a geisha. It's hard for us to relate to anyone like this today because we don't tailor our words or actions to accommodate anyone because we don't have to. We have Alexa to do it for us. Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Sunday Coffee Hour, we talk about everything and nothing. This Sunday, we talked about the firing of the Art Institute docents, how natural woodwork doesn't seem to exist anymore, the Chinese zodiac, and if Adam and Eve had belly buttons. The readings at Washington National Cathedral were from Isaiah. God is in complete control. Our job is to love him completely. Don't stumble in any vain attempt to outwit him. And from Corinthians, we proclaim the gospel by our own free will and not by the compunction of threat or punishment. The gospel was from Mark, bringing people back from the dead. If you can't beat them, join them. The sermon at Washington National Cathedral was by Samuel Wells from the Anglican Church of England. Mr. Wells preached about the danger of artificial intelligence and that it's the greatest threat facing the world. He said tech leaders from around the world gathered recently to discuss this looming threat facing the world. The conversation has moved from extolling the benign benefits of technology to recognizing the threatening dangers it represents. Mr. Wells said there are three responses we can have to technology and AI. The first is no way. The second is hallelujah, bring it on. And the third is wait a minute. Some people are opposed to any of it. Some people are ready for technology to take over, and some are open but cautious. Mr. Wells said that we think we're in danger of losing control or of losing our identity, and many think that we face entire annihilation. But Mr. Wells said there's a greater danger, and that's that we face losing our ability to relate to each other. Mr. Wells said this speaks directly to the mission of the church in the world. If we cannot speak to each other or relate to anyone, then we're doomed to sink into the moral deprivation of isolation. Mr. Wells read his sermon with a rather monotone cadence, which was off-putting at first, but maybe it was an attempt to mimic the monotone voice of AI and technology in our time. Most of us weren't paying attention to the absence of reassuring voices because we're all worried about nuclear annihilation, identity politics, and losing control, instead of hearing the reassuring tone of graceful gestures we need all hear to be encouraged. At St. James, Lisa Hackney James preached about the vastness of God and that he touches each of us in our lives. She said it's like the vastness of the sun. It's larger than we can imagine, and it's very far away, yet we can feel its warmth across our shoulders. Lisa said God is also infinite time, and because of that, he values the small amount of time allotted to each of us in this lifetime as very, very valuable. Lisa said things are looking up at St. James. At the annual meeting, good news was shared. She didn't speak or quantify what the good news was because at St. James, they really don't navigate between the good and bad paradigms. They just continue on in their own quiet self-reserve. Lisa said God has chosen to take St. James by the hand into the future. It's God's gesture, even if we don't know where we're going. In the convention of the Bible, we have slave and master. And in Wall Street, we have the free economic system. It's all about transactions, no matter how you package it. Someone is always buying and someone is always selling. We commit moral turpitude when we conflate economics with actually seeing each other. Yes, we're focused on survival, our identity, and control, but there's more to life than just economics. It used to be called having a soul. Babe Paley had every moral and social virtue. It wasn't about wild arm waving or trying to be everything to everybody. It was about the subtle gesture held close to the body that spoke to a few with the humility of knowing that we don't have the capacity to relate to everyone, because only God has that capacity. Babe Paley lived her whole life as the embodiment of grace and charm. It was only at the end of her life when she shocked everyone and pushed back. That was because her gift of grace was hers to give. It wasn't a commodity to be traded upon the open market. Just because you receive a gift, it doesn't imply that you deserve it or that you're even worthy of it. The honor is upon the one giving the gift, not you. And when you make that mistake, it's the vainest thing to do because it dishonors the gift. Our job in this lifetime is to hold our gesture close to the body and avoid a lot of arm waving. Trying to be everything to everyone dishonors the gift because only God is everything, everywhere, all at the same time. If you would like to join us at Sunday Coffee Hour is every Sunday at 12 noon Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.